Hey, what's up, guys? Ken here for the Retro Toy Escapades channel in Malaysia. I hope that everyone's doing good out there. Now, if you are a Masters of the Universe fan, and if you are tuning into this video, I assume that you are, then this, my friends, is your time. This is truly the golden age of the MOTU franchise. I mean, there's literally so much gold, okay? So much freaking gold raining down on us as fans. As much gold as there was on that super-powered version of Skeletor that we saw in the 1987 movie. Now, just this weekend alone, alright, we've gotten updates on the new MOTU Revelation animated series and images from the show. We've also gotten fresh new images and updates from the Revelation action figure series. We also got an update from Pixel Dan and Mattel last night on the new Wave 6 of MOTU Origins images. And hell, you know what? I was actually working on the video for that one, but then this news hit, and I just got to cover this one here right now first, okay? Because this, just a few hours ago, I received snapshots of these pictures from my good buddy Adelphi, and these have been circulating online and through the internet. I saw them as well on the Instagram page for Toy Bro, another fantastic YouTube channel that I follow, and this appears to be toy images of the all-new second Masters of the Universe animated series that is also coming out on Netflix. Now, just to be clear, these toy images are based off the new upcoming animated series from Mattel Television and Netflix, and is titled He-Man and the Masters of the Universe. So we saw promotional images of these a few weeks ago online, and even how He-Man would look like in the cartoon. And man, you know what? They've supersized him up to that of a building in this one, okay? In fact, in both the Kevin Smith MOTU Revelation series and this new MOTU animated series from Mattel, He-Man seems to be getting bigger and bigger. I mean, size does matter, man. The strongest man in the universe has to look like a battleship, right? Now, the only time, as I recall, in recent years where I've seen a severely underfed and malnourished version of He-Man, you know, the one that looks like a child could beat him with a twig, is when Reaction put out these figures here. Yeah, this is the Hunger Strike He-Man. Okay, this is the first of the sneak images of the new toy line that have appeared online. At this point, I have no idea where this is being taken from. Is it from Mattel's super secret meeting room? Is it from the toy warehouse itself where it's awaiting its official street date to be put on shelves? I don't know. Or could it be from an actual store that already has it for sale? Alright, He-Man here looks very wholesome and friendly, and he's smiling. No more raging with anger on the outside, just a look of cheerful optimism. Or maybe it's a smirk. Now, you know what? This is like two new He-Man figures in a row. First, the one in Masterverse, and now this one where He-Man is looking kind of upbeat, okay? He's happy, all right? He's all smiles. Now, I wasn't quite sure what to make of this exactly. I mean, when we saw the promotional images, I knew that we would be getting kid-friendly, stylized figures with the huge upper bodies, the wafer-thin waist, and the small legs. You know, basically proportions that would never work in real life. So you know that this is clearly a work of fantasy. That these proportions, in fact, have been around since 2002's Justice League. That's probably like the show that I think popularized this form of caricaturist bigger bodies. And 20 years later, it's still a thing, man. The eyes on him do look a bit goofy, man. You know, come on. What do you guys think? The head is super tiny on that body, of course. If some of you thought that the heads on the Masterverse figures were small, wait till you get a load of this one, alright? Now, I like how there's some detailing here that we can see on the body armor, so it's not just like a flat piece. And what looks to be a skull in the belt buckle area. Also, the fact that the symbol on his chest is now, it's a hitch, but it's a long hitch, okay, and it seems to follow the design of what we've seen of the new power sword, which could mean that there might be some interactivity between the two of them. The symbol on the chest and the power sword, I'm not sure, but the new power sword is double bladed, right? And with the blades side by side, they do look like a hitch as well. You know, you see a joint there at the elbow, and it might even be a swivel joint. Okay, so the upper body looks to be pretty decently articulated. There's maybe even ball joints on the massive shoulders here, all right? And that would be great, honestly. Now, I think this is one of those things where you can't really expect a lot of articulation below the waist. Okay, I think the legs are probably going to be just a solid piece with no movement, but you get most of the play value from the arms and the head and the waist and just basically everything above. Okay, everything on top. Now, the packaging is certainly more dynamic than what we saw with the Masterverse figures. But again, as with the Masterverse, blue seems to be the central theme of the colors here. Now, I do like the He-Man font for the title logo. This looks good to me. Okay, this is like big, just big and massive. That looks good. And on the side here, we get an illustrated image of what He-Man looks like in the cartoon. And yep, that is most definitely a smirk right there. And with those narrowed eyes, it's like he's saying, I'm coming for you, and I'm going to rip you to shreds. Actually, if they sculpted the figure's face to look like this image of He-Man here, I think it would look a whole lot better, right? As it is, the figure looks, disconnected a bit from the cartoon image. Yeah, what do you guys think about that? Okay, now we get to Skeletor, and this is another one of the images that came through. There is quite a bit of glare here, but honestly, from what we can see here, what I can see here, this kind of caught me by surprise a bit because I didn't have such a knee-jerk reaction to it as I did with the He-Man figure. I know I sounded kind of calm earlier when I was talking about it, but honestly, when I first saw the image of the He-Man figure, like when my friend sent it over to me, on WhatsApp, and I checked it out, I was like, my honest first reaction was like, what the hell is this shit, man? What in the hell am I looking at here? Yeah, but Skeletor here, I gotta say, hey, he actually looks cool. Now, you know what? With the cowl, the purple cowl on his head, and the more thinner and narrower skull face, there's just something about this figure, man. It just looks to me like more and more like the Green Goblin, okay? Yeah, or maybe even the Demo Goblin, all right? Who's also from the Green Goblin family. The family with Hobgoblin as well. It's kind of looking to me, it reminds me a lot of that character design. But I really do like Skeletor's interpretation here. It's definitely different, right? And it's one of those times where it's different in an interesting and a unique way that actually catches your attention. He does have a more sort of like insect-like feel to him. I don't know, maybe it's because of that huge honking skull emblem that you see there on his chest, which kind of looks to me like the head of a large beetle, okay, like a king beetle. All right. Now, I'm not really sure what the motivation here for the character is in this new cartoon, or even if he has an origin story that's similar to anything that we've seen before. But this new take on the character looks intriguing. All right, I can't wait to find out more. Let me know in the comment section actually if Skeletor here actually does it for you, okay? Because probably maybe you guys are mixed on the He-Man figure. I'm betting that most of you will be, but I am interested in knowing if you think Skeletor here actually is a bit more redeeming. Let me know. Okay, I'm not sure yet what the scale of these figures are. All right, I mean, are these 10 inches? I will say that both He-Man and Skeletor are definitely a lot bigger than what I expected them to be, and that also kind of means that the Battle Cat that comes with this set is probably going to be the biggest battle cat toy of all time, okay? And that's something that gets me excited, okay? It just gets me excited to no end. Okay, and then we get to the last of the reveals, and this one is the Battle Armor He-Man. Okay, this version of the Battle Armor He-Man, it sure isn't like any other version of the Battle Armor He-Man that we've ever seen before. This one seems to be focused on the actual armor itself, whereas the previous incarnations of the Battle Armor version was how you could inflict damage on the armor. Okay, that was the special feature of the figure. But this one seems to more like celebrate the fact that he's got additional armor that's like really bright red parts. Okay, that you can they all look like they can be attached to him. It says here on the box that the set comes with the power sword and armor. So you probably can remove all these additional bits of armor to reveal the normal figure underneath. I hope, I mean, that would be like, great extra value. But I don't really care much for what I'm seeing here of the armor. It looks pretty, cheap. I don't know. it doesn't look detailed enough to be exciting. Probably when you have it in hand, it might take on a whole new life of its own. But I don't know. I really don't know if this is exactly what I wanted an armored up version of He-Man to look like. Okay, now you see how he has a removable helmet, and the helmet has a very bird-like design to it. It could be modeled after Zoa, the Falcon. Probably this is something that from the powers of the battle armor are given to him by Grayskull itself. All right, maybe there's a connection there. I'm not sure. There is a very sort of like a bird-like theme to all of this. Maybe you see like shapes of bird feathers or sharp edges that could be from talons or things like that. This kind of reminds me a lot of the Transformers Prime Beast Hunters. Now, in that one, you had the Transformers, the Autobots, and Decepticons outfitted with a kind of creature, animal-based armor, all right? And I'm not sure if this concept, works in the same way as that. But when I look at something like this, it definitely makes me think of Beast Hunters, all right? You also get to see the power sword here, and it's huge, as you would expect. But I'm kind of disappointed that there isn't like a split in the middle of the two blades. Right? I thought there was going to be like a clearly defined split, in between. And here it just looks like one solid piece with some detailing on it. All right. So it's like a long, it could be like one piece of a ceiling fan. I don't know. But it's big, definitely, all right? Now, overall, I do expect that there will be variations of the, standard He-Man and Skeletor figures. Actually, I'm not sure if the standard He-Man in this series comes with the power sword as well, because you couldn't see it in the package. And I don't think they mention anything like that on the box as well. So maybe you have to get this figure to get the power sword. I'm not sure. But so we will be seeing variations of He-Man and Skeletor, and probably the Battle Armor Skeletor might look better. Okay, but at this point, I'm not too crazy about how the He-Man here looks like. At the bottom of the package, you see a very clear image of the entire title block where it says He-Man and the Masters of the Universe. As I said, I love the lettering. Okay, I love the fonts used for the logo here. You also see at the side here where it says Power Attack, which means that this figure could probably come with some special feature in the sense that, maybe it's like spring activated or something that's making He-Man's hand just slash that sword directly at you. Okay, maybe it does something like that. But there are two images here that I can't really make out what it shows here. But you do see He-Man with the helmet on. Okay, so this is probably something interesting. And maybe once he's in full battle armor mode, there's a feature that can be activated. All right. Also, I'm also curious if this is actually a deluxe figure, maybe at a slightly higher price point than the regular ones. I guess we'll just have to wait and see. Now, overall, my take on these figures, is pretty mixed. Okay, I would say, pretty much very mixed. But that's in a way it's a good thing as well. Okay, I mean, if everything looked like jaw-droppingly awesome to everyone, then shit, you feel the urge to buy everything, and you probably can't. Okay, unless you had a lot of space and basically maybe you're doing three jobs at the same time to afford all of it. So some of the stuff, understandably, has got to appeal to certain groups and not have a very mass appeal, I think. um, I will say that I do regret when I look at figures like these and actually of this size, which I believe at this point could be about 9 or 10 inches. I do somewhat regret the fact that back when we had the 2002 Masters of the Universe figures, they did put out these 10-inch, I believe it was 10 or 12-inch versions of He-Man and Skeletor. I think He-Man had the snake armor on, and probably so did Skeletor. But the thing is that I saw them in stores, and they were really cheap back then. Okay, this is like in freaking like when it came out in Malaysia. That particular series was in like 2004, something like about 17 years ago, and it was dirt freaking cheap. I just saw it there, just I ignored it. Okay, because I felt that it was just out of place with everything else that I had in the collection at the time. And today, when I think back about it, I'm basically kicking myself because I figured that hey, it would be cool to have them. All right, they are somewhat overpriced on the secondary market. But basically, I like the fact that they were actually big and a little bit more bulky. I didn't feel that way at the time, but I kind of changed my feelings about it over the years. So who knows? Okay, maybe 10, 15 years from now, these particular figures would be regarded as pretty interesting, unique collectibles from our time. Anyway, I just want to hear what you guys have to say about all this. Let me know what you think in the comments section. And as always, thank you for joining me, guys. Take care.